We're talking about Flute. Another demo with Badge again. All right, everybody, welcome. We're going to talk about Flute and board grades today, where we use them, why we use them, why you should use them, and more importantly, why you should buy them through us to get the best product for you. We'll talk about E-Flute, we'll talk about B-Flute, we'll talk about Twin Flute, we'll talk about different grades of board, especially for your printing. I'm pointing to areas that aren't here, but they're just over there. Everything that you're going to need in this video. Okay, so just touching base again, guys. E-Flute, our smaller boxes, which I will show you in a minute. From there, we'll step up a notch to our B-Flute, obviously a higher grade board, a little heavy duty. From there, step up again, Twin Flute. Obviously, there's a lot more varieties than that, but these are our common three. Examples of that will come into heavy duty Twin Flute box. So we would put something extremely weighty in a box of this sort of size with a Twin Flute. One little level down from that would be a B-Flute box. Again, nice and robust, still take a good amount of weight. It's just an A4 B-Flute box. And then from that, the next step down will be our E-Flute box. Again, still nice and rigid for postage, but probably just take your lighter weight objects. From the fluted boards, we would then head into our standard boards, which I can walk you through. These particular products, these boxes actually hold your product. So product directly inside them, and then from there into your shipping cartons and out to shops or the people, wherever they have to go. Different varieties of that, as you can see, just a nice smaller capacity box. Wanted to go more into a little bit more of your pharmaceutical style boxes. Heaps of examples, business card boxes, pretty self-explanatory those ones. Business cards, just different sizes if you want to put 500 cards in, for example. Work your way down, 250s and then your 50s, so your smaller styles. Heaps more examples upstairs, so we'll just go up there and have a look. Okay, so just touching base back on with the board, obviously it's easier to print on, gives you a much better finish than trying to print on your Flute. Whilst you can print on Flute, you don't get the same sort of finish, so much glossier finish when you're printing on the board. More variety in the finishes. Crease there, and then you've got your colour overhang. So if we bring this in, yeah, I don't care about that, this is our number.
I use that as a measurement. From the 9 to the cut.
All right, we'll bring this in closer to the 9. That should centralise this up enough, just so that we get, this side's not too bad because of the way it works, but this side here, it just looks a little bit off. Yeah, it's an easy one. Easy for you, mate, everything's easy. I'll sign it now though. All right, this is just another example, guys, of a printed Flute board, but in this particular case, we've mounted it to what I was saying before about the board with the printing comes out a lot nicer than it does on Flute. If you want to do a Flute job and get the same sort of shiny appearance like this, then we do what we call mounting. So we print it on the paper, and then essentially we glue that to the top of the fluted board, which gives you a fantastic finish. Nice and glossy, really makes your images pop right out. So if you want to sell your product, that's obviously another way to go when it comes to Flute. So strong enough to hold something heavy and protect it when it gets shipped out, but still looks really fantastic. Don't forget, guys, if you want to learn more about the mounting side of things, there's a link to Millie's video that explains the whole lot. Really good job on explaining all that. So generally, guys, the reason we have such a variation in stock and not just in the thicknesses, but the actual different types of stocks is all dependent on what the product that you want. So if you're looking for something to protect your product as it goes out in the post, or the actual counter display that shows what it is that you're trying to sell, we try and hold a lot of the different stocks to give you something that is going to do exactly what you want it to do. So generally, and this is always general, we'll do whatever it is that you want. The fluted boards will be the outside shipping containers, cartons I should say, whereas the board itself that represents what the product is inside, because we want it to look a whole lot nicer. But So just keep that in mind. An RSC or a shipping carton, I keep saying container, I don't know why, shipping carton will be made out of those 3 general different grades of flute board. They're more robust, they're gonna protect what goes inside. Then your board, that's gonna be usually what we'll print on to get your logo nice and poppy. That's what the consumer is gonna see inside the shop or wherever it happens to go. Even if it goes direct to the house, it's gonna have your logo on it looking really good. Okay, that's it for today, guys. So just stay tuned for the next installment. Probably won't come from me, be somebody better. Might try and get Tan involved in the next video. She'll explain something that Badge wants to talk about. See you next time.